So we knew it was coming. No shock at all. No shock at all. I mean, you predicted it. I predicted it. We all predicted it. The next movie masterpiece, MP-11, is going to be Autobot Ratchet, based off of his 2007 Transformers movie design. And he looks quite amazing, actually. I'm very impressed what's going on here. Hasbro China, as well as Hasbro's Tmall online website, posted a incredible stop motion video showing off the character. They did the exact same thing with the Starscream previously, and it really accentuates everything that's going on with this toy. According to the Chinese posting here, 35 points of articulation, which was accentuated quite well in the video, showing, you know, hands, mouth, all kinds of crazy stuff, super articulated. It also says here, again, it's officially licensed by the H2 Hummer, which is what he was in the original movie. 61-step transformation, which is pretty standard for most masterpieces of that scale. It says here it's going to have a movable mouth, missiles, laser cannon, and buzzsaw attachment accessory, which I really liked that they showed in the video him going up against Starscream, like buzzsaw versus buzzsaw action, which I totally forgot that that could have been a thing, because those two characters in a lot of supplemental material in the 2007 movie, like, you know, during that bubble when the 2007 movie came out, whether it be video games or posters or, like, you know, I guess we'll call them children's books and stuff, they always put Ratchet against Starscream, and it never made that buzzsaw battle connection all this time. Kind of funny. And this is coming from a guy who bought, like, the Fast Action Battlers, which were all about gimmicks and extra accessories and stuff. So pretty cool stuff. They say here it's going to be 7.5 inches, which, again, not surprising in terms of the size. And it's going to have die-cast parts, which I'm going to assume is probably going to be in the feet area and some areas to weigh down the character. They didn't really specify where those die-cast parts will be. But this is pretty cool stuff. I really like what I see here. And what's even more shocking is, so we have essentially some semblance of prices. The first being leaked Target listings. We have here Target's website is listing it at $119 with an expected release date of October 1st, 2020. And I say this is shocking because in the past, the movie masterpieces usually had a wiggle room in between each other of between 3 and 6 months. And considering that the MPM-10 Starscream is going to be coming out September 2020, and just a month later we're going to be getting this one, that's pretty impressive how quickly they're pushing things together. My assumption, I think, for the reasoning for that is because we're going to be going into 2021, a movie year. We don't know what that movie's going to be. We still know so little. But then again, we're still early into 2020. We haven't had our, well, even though San Diego Comic-Con's not going to happen, we didn't have our announcements from something like a San Diego Comic-Con. So we don't really know what is planned for next year in terms of a film or a story or a product or a theme going next year. So I think we'll have a better indication of that by the time we reach the second half of summer. And all of that is behind us going into fall. But that being said, I think that's why they're kind of bunching these 2007 movie releases together, because there's going to be something probably bigger down the line. We've discussed this in the past, and I might as well bring it up because we're going to obviously have something else afterwards. It's always been Autobot, Decepticon, Autobot, Decepticon, Autobot, Decepticon with the MPMs. Since they started, essentially, the new MPMs, not the ones based off of older retail toys that were done in that leader class to ultra class scale. But that being said, so who is that next Decepticon going to be now that we have Ratchet? The only time they break up the Autobot Decepticon groove is, like I mentioned, when they have some kind of outside movie happening around that. Last time that happened was the Bumblebee movie. So when the Bumblebee movie came out, they inserted your Volkswagen Beetle in between our Autobot Decepticon of 2007 movie characters. So we got Ratchet out of the way. Who is next then? Is it going to be Blackout? Are we going to get a nice, movie masterpiece Blackout? Or is it too soon since we've already gotten the Studio Series one? are we going to be getting a studio series Bone Crusher? Or again, is it too soon a movie masterpiece Bone Crusher, since it's too soon since we've got the studio series one? I could assume that both, Bone Crusher and Blackout could be potential, primarily because I think that by the time they get around to releasing, well, number one, revealing and or releasing any one of those two guys will probably be a year from now. I'm going to assume that. So if it's that far away, then I guess it'll be that far removed from their studio series releases, which were last year. But that being said, I mean, the only other Decepticon from the 2007 line that I'd be forgetting, and remiss to say, is that of Frenzy. And, well, I don't know. Like, Frenzy's a weird one, because if you want to do a movie masterpiece, do you want to do something that's oversized and not to scale with the other characters, but at least will do the character justice in terms of articulation? Because, look, the sad thing with Frenzy is he's more of an accessory than he is an individual toy, even though, every single version of Frenzy has either been an accessory to Barricade or something that was like a Robo replica, which was a non-transformable articulated figure, or the Fast Action Battler, which did transform, probably the only legitimate transforming Frenzy figure, but was not very good because it was a Fast Action Battler, but sadly is probably the best Frenzy toy we have when we really think about it, because it actually turns into the boombox. I don't know. That's always been a complicated one. And I'd like to have a good Frenzy toy that would do him justice, but it's something that, because Studio Series is obsessed with scale, probably doesn't belong there. Movie masterpiece, maybe? I don't know. It's a weird thing. But that being said, I'm leaning more towards probably Bone Crusher or Blackout being the next one. More so Bone Crusher. I'd like to see him revisited again after the Studio Series release. And have a nice, big, beefy, nice figure with crazy articulation, something, and a removable head, I guess, for when Prime killed him. But yeah, this is really good. Going back to the Ratchet, I really like what I see. I'm very impressed with how they, essentially, according to what they said here, they used the CAD model from the first film to make this figure. And they really put a lot of work into it. They said they used 150 paint applications and decos to really match how he looked in the movie. So there's just a lot going on here. There was a lot of extra care for Ratchet, even though, in a lot of ways, while he has been present in most of the movies, he kind of got punked out in the end and really didn't have too big a role in the later stuff. But still, I appreciate what's done here. And considering that his future appearances are also pretty similar, just with mild paint tweaks, it's something that if they, maybe 5 years from now want to just pad out a Revenge of the Fallen line of movie masterpieces, they could just do a small repaint of this one. Same thing with the Starscream. They could just add the tattoos on it. So those are two characters that there'll be a good long-term investment, because later on for Hasbro and Takara, they'll be able to just kind of do slight tweaks, repaints, and retools, or add a new accessory, and be able to sell you the product all over again 4 to 5 years from now, when they probably get around to start doing the Revenge of the Fallen characters. Can't wait for that Ice Cream Twins masterpiece. You finally revisit that design, which probably would be interesting. But yeah, which begs the question, like I said, who do you think is going to be the next movie masterpiece, MPM-12, let's call it? Is it going to be, like I said, Blackout, Bone Crusher, maybe Frenzy? Do you think it's going to be whatever the next movie flavor will be, whether it be Beast Wars or that animated movie that they've been talking about? It will be very interesting to see what they have planned coming up. But just let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of Ratchet here. I mean, I dig him, but let me know what you think, and let me know if you're hyped about this guy, because I think he looks spectacular.